I'm the chairman of the board of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and that sounds kind of pretentious when I say that, so unless you think I'm a stuffy sort of guy, there's pictures of me at the last gala where we had a big fundraiser last month in New York, when Michael comes on stage with his guitar and closes the show playing Johnny Be Good. I jumped up on my chair and I'm clapping and cheering and putting new meaning into the title, Chairman. We got involved with the Fox Foundation and the Parkinson's Institute about 10 years ago when my father-in-law was diagnosed with PD, and Harry was very fortunate to have access to the Parkinson's Institute, and where I think, you know, the quality of care that they provide is unparalleled, and it's, as Dr. Tanner said, one of the few facilities, if maybe the only one, where you have both research going on and a patient community that they can take care of. And the level of personal attention that they got. We got to know Bill Langston along the way. Those of you that know Bill know he was the original head of the Fox Foundation's Scientific Advisory Board. He's not only a pioneer in Parkinson's research, but he is also a prince of a human being. I can say that because he's not here today, so I can embarrass him. Not only was Harry attending the Parkinson's Institute to get treatment, but we also got involved with the Fox Foundation, trying to really better understand the science, the state of the Parkinson's research, trying to find a cure, and to understand how we could contribute and have a role in trying to help find a cure. As much as anything, honoring my father-in-law Harry. At this point, I can say the Shackleton family is all in with the Parkinson's Institute and the Michael J. Fox Foundation. We've been involved in a lot of different ways. Back about 5 or 6 years ago, my daughter was going to Stanford University and did a summer internship at the Fox Foundation, and then after she graduated, she went to work for them full-time. And at the end, some of you might have been involved in Team Fox activities. She was actively involved in overseeing the Team Fox, which is sort of the field grassroots field fundraising organization part of the Fox Foundation. She's since left and gone off. She's on her way to getting an MBA at this point, but she continues to support the Fox Foundation running marathons. I think she's run 3 or 4 now for the Fox Foundation. I have twin sons. Her brothers have run multiple marathons, and I think between the 3 of them, they've raised somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 for the Michael J. Fox Foundation to help find a cure and honoring their grandfather. So along the way, after she started working there, I was invited to join the board at the Fox Foundation. I was honored to be a part of it. It's an amazing group of very intelligent people that are very passionate about working with Michael to help find a cure for Parkinson's. And recently, my daughter Courtney has been active with a group of they call Young Professionals in San Francisco, and just had their first successful fundraising event in San Francisco. So all of my kids, my wife and I are now, you know, as I say, all in to try and help find a cure for Parkinson's. I chaired my first board meeting last month, and I got to say, when I go back about 3 or 4 years ago, I was getting depressed. So we've got 10 years of involvement with the PI and the Fox Foundation. It was like all this work and all this money, and like behind every door there was like 3 more doors, and it was like, you know, where is this going? I mean, I know we're making progress in the sense that we're gaining knowledge, but it didn't feel like we were really getting closer to a cure or dramatic treatment. And I will tell you, I mean, you'll hear more about this today, but the research reports that we went through at the last board meeting gave me a lot of excitement that a lot of the activity is now further on the right-hand side of that pipeline side toward clinical trials. There's activity in, you know, the vaccine work in Austria, and some breakthroughs in stem cell research and gene implant therapy and orphan drug approaches. So I think there's 20 different clinical trials that the Fox Foundation is now funding. So there's a lot of excitement that gives me reason for optimism that we're going to see something dramatic happen in the next few years. And of course, it's going to take time to get everything through the pipeline. But that and the fact that this PPMI that many of you have probably heard about, Parkinson's Progression Marker Initiative, as many of you know, there is no biomarker for Parkinson's. There's no way to objectively track the progression of the disease, which is going to make it difficult when we find a cure to get it through the FDA for approval, because you need to prove the efficacy. So this is a big undertaking. It's the biggest undertaking that the Fox Foundation has taken on, and we've rallied researchers and big pharmaceuticals and have, I think, 21 sites around the world that are engaged in this process. So it's a really exciting initiative, and you'll probably hear more about that from the staff. So chairing this last board meeting, I got to tell you, just have a little side quip about Michael. I was, trying to run an orderly meeting, and so I called for a motion, and he says, "I'm always moving, so moved." And if he were here, he would want to thank you for your participation. Actually, what he probably want to do is sit down with you and compare meds, because that's what you guys all do, it seems. But seriously, he would want to thank you. I think you inspire him as much as he inspires many of you. He's a very special guy. I can tell you he's been at every board meeting I've been except one. I think he was doing a shoot for some TV show he was doing, but he is not just the face of the foundation. He is actively involved in the leadership of the foundation. He's a very inspirational guy to those of us that get a chance to work with him, and I know he gives my father-in-law Harry hope every day when he gets up. So I will, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Veronique from the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
So my name is Veronique Enos Kafer. I have been with the Fox Foundation since it started, and I act in many ways as a contact on the West Coast and a liaison between sort of the West and the Fox Foundation, and we're incredibly grateful for our work here in collaboration with the Parkinson's Institute today. I'm just going to say a few words. We've already had such a great introduction about the PI from Dr. Tanner and about the Fox Foundation from board member Woody Shackleton, and I will just add a couple of words before we turn it over to our panel of scientists today. Brian Fisk, who is a director of research programs at the Michael J. Fox Foundation, Dr. Nichols, who is here at the Parkinson's Institute, Carly Tanner is speaking. Dr. Bill Langston was also going to be speaking today, and he is feeling under the weather today and sends his regrets that he couldn't be here, but he's here in spirit, and Carly is wonderful, and we're so grateful she's here. Dr. David Wiener, who formerly with EMD Serrano, who's done a lot of work with industry. But as a very lay person, I just wanted to talk a little bit about our process. And if we are in this room today, it is that we have had very meaningful contact with Parkinson's disease in some way. And I think everybody here deeply appreciates the impact that it has in the lives of those with Parkinson's and in those who love us and our family members. So you know that Parkinson's disease just in the United States affects nearly 1 million people. Another 500,000 are affected by equally or more complicated, in some cases, related Parkinsonisms. And this number is only growing. As the proportion of older Americans increases, we will see more and more Parkinson's, we suspect, until we find those new treatments and a cure. The therapeutic need is incredibly great, as all of you are intimately aware of. None of the treatments that treat motor or non-motor symptoms are adequate, and it leaves substantial unmet needs for anybody who is living with the disease, and there is currently no therapy that is proven to actually modify the course of the disease, and hence our great passion for the entire Parkinson's field to find a new treatment that is actually going to get to the heart of what's going on with Parkinson's disease and reverse it, or slow it, or alter it in some meaningful way. So why does the Fox Foundation exist? We exist because we felt that there was a need. There was incredible, has always been incredible research happening in the Parkinson's field, but we felt that there needed to be a great kind of coordinating effort. And I think when we began, it's been close to 11 years now, I don't know that we even then understood fully the sort of impact that a relationship like this of a private organization with a scientific community could have on a disease. And I have to say, like, we are 10 years into it, I have to say that actually the impact has been profound, and it is a very different field now than it was 10 years ago. I mean, our thought was I think initially our thought was we could help, and I think now our thought is together, scientists working with a great business plan, we can really try to remove the air out of anything that doesn't have to do with how hard biology is. If biology is hard, we can be patient, but if a business plan is hard, we cannot be patient, because there are a lot of things that we can do to move science along in an intelligent way, and anytime we can do that, we want to. So our goal is really to drive the very best Parkinson's research in order to deliver new therapies and a cure. And we're constantly monitoring the field and what is happening in order to identify the very highest priorities and fund those. More than just a scattershot approach, we really want to thematically fund towards a cure and answer the questions that are the next steps to leapfrog and to open new doors that will be the main broad avenues that could be likely routes to a cure. And in doing so, we worked very closely with the entire Parkinson's community to try and initiate, fund, and lead very high impact collaborations. The good news is that in some ways I feel like it is working, and it is a golden age for this field. New scientists are joining the field, and there's a very collaborative spirit. Brian Fisk is going to speak to this much more and much more scientifically, obviously, but there are, just to be very simplistic, let's say there are as many steps in the development of a new therapy as there are letters of the alphabet. And those scientists are honestly among the smartest human beings I've ever encountered and on the planet, and are working so hard to find research that's different from there being somebody whose job it is to make sure that science moves along all of those many steps that are necessary and the handoffs that are required from one level of expertise to another between scientists in order for this idea that someone has in the middle of the night or in the quiet of their lab to actually reach my hand in the middle of the night. And that is what we really want. We don't want a situation where it's like, if architects only drew blueprints and never actually built the building, we wouldn't be much farther along. So we're really passionate about translation. Since we've started, we've funded $270 million in research since 2000, which is both a good number and a small number. We know that the price tag of a cure is high, and so we really want to leverage every dollar so it has the best possible impact. The good news is, I think that, just from us in a year, 65,000 individuals contributing. Individuals, I think, is kind of a special story, because it's people like you and me who really have skin in the game and who are really committed to trying to solve this. So though sometimes it feels like we're alone, we are not alone in trying to find and to care about funding a cure. Impact, efficiency, accountability are all values that we have. 87 cents on the dollar goes directly to research, and we take great care that in contracting and in everything we do, that the money is really allocated towards what matters most. And we also have no endowment on purpose, because there's too much good science to fund right now. We just don't want to sit on it. Our staff is a team of seven PhDs in-house, 1 MD, we're very excited to have a clinician on board, and 7 business strategists who help lead this effort by tapping the advice also of experts globally, both in industry and academia. So we are as passionate as you are about making a difference in this. I recently, my husband recently ran a marathon for Parkinson's, and as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about the great amount of sort of love, passion, and commitment that all of you have and that people have when they're diagnosed with the disease. And it is our goal and our honor if we can sort of live up to the level of your love and care about wanting to find a cure for this disease through our accountability and effort and hard work. And we definitely feel that it's going to happen, and I'm excited to hear what the scientists have to say about the details of the science that are moving forward. The good news, one of the messages that you'll hear today, is that the good news is that since this is working, there is so much research that has moved from the lab into clinical trials that there's sort of an added piece of a message that we really want to share with you today, which is this, is that you all are living with Parkinson's in your life, and that is a big job. And you are trying to live it without making Parkinson's be the #1 character in the story, and that is also a big job. But there's an additional thing that I think the community is also asking of you, which is that, and Brian will talk about this much more, but there is no therapy that comes out without human beings being involved in clinical trials, and therefore to speed science along right now, the science is ready and the resources are ready and the time is ready to start thinking about if there is a trial that maybe individuals with Parkinson's or without Parkinson's could be involved in. But anyway, I'll let the scientists get on with the story, and afterwards if you have any questions, there'll be time for that.